Hey, my name is Gion. I'm a musician for 5 years now. I've mostly been making music in hip-hop. I was making a lot of beats for artists like Lalo or Mogi Mike. Right now I've shifted more towards soul, funk, a bit of psychedelic, kind of ambient kind of sounds. That's what I'm working on right now. I'm working on my own album. And I'm going to show you some tips and tricks that I would like to have known when I just started. So I started out with FL Studio. I downloaded this program when I was 14 because I knew some other producers that made hip-hop beats worked with this program. And one of my biggest inspirations was Dr. Dre, and I also wanted to make hip-hop beats. So that's how I started out, with just learning this program and to get to know what all the knobs are for and how you can use it to make different sounds. The only thing I need to make music is my laptop, essentially. I can record sounds with my laptop. I can use other sounds that I have recorded before. I can make drum loops. I can chop up samples that I've recorded. I can even, there's speakers in everything I need is already inside my laptop. Everything else I have is always extra. So you don't need anything else besides your laptop to start making music. Other things I have are these monitors. I really like them. And I can definitely, this is my holy grail. It's the best audio interface I have ever worked with. It has a lot of capacity. It reduces the latency significantly. Then I have my guitar that I use a lot. My synthesizer, it's a behringer Model D. It's an analog synthesizer. It's the replica of the Moog. Then I have my turntable, MIDI keyboard, and microphone. I choose this guitar, or the electric guitar, as one of my I choose it to work with because it gives a lot of insight in how you can make new melodies, and it's because the structure of the notes on the strings are very different than the piano. So that way you have a different way of interacting with them and using them more freely to create new melodies that you would not have come up with if you were just on your piano. So I can really advise people to start playing guitar. Then I have my synthesizer. I really like this one too because it's an analog synthesizer. It gives a lot of more warmth to it than the digital plugins or synthesizers that people use. And also what's really nice is that you are basically just making sounds that have not existed before. Yeah, you can definitely shape a sound the way you have it in your head. So that's also one of the main reasons why I use it. It's perfect for arpeggiators or bass. It has a very good bass sound, I think. So yeah, that's why I use this. The rest of my stuff, just like the stuff that you need. The microphone, you need it. MIDI keyboard, you just need to have it to check the sounds that you want to use. Same with the speakers as well as the audio interface. I mean, you don't need it, but when you start to do it more seriously and you want to record other instruments and you want to listen to your music in a better, with a more realistic sound, you should definitely have an interface and some good speakers and a mic. So when starting a new song, I almost always start with just one layer of chords, just to try out what type of chords I want, trying to find what I feel like making. So I made this one. This beat I made yesterday when I was working with a singer in Amsterdam. Then sometimes I layer them like I did now with some more like 80s synthesizer. And then it just depends on what I feel like. So sometimes I start with making the drums now, but in this case I added some synthesizer to it. And I will show you a bit now what I can do, for example. So this one determines the octave, so yeah, there's too many buttons to explain, but as you can see, I shaped this sound with this synthesizer, and now as you can see, we already have some kind of intro. So from that, when I have something that I feel like, okay, this is a good basis of the song, I start making the drums. Why I like FL Studio is because you can have all the drums nicely sorted in this drum rack, which gives you a nice overview of where the drums are placed, and you know it's nicely organized. That's my opinion. Okay, then I usually start adding in this case I added some guitar to give it a little bit more body. For the guitar, I always use this plugin called Guitar Rig. You have like loads of effects. Yeah, so you can really find the effect that you need for the song, and it's a very great plugin. And from that, you start with adding the vocals, you know, to get more an idea of what the track is going to sound like. So yeah, that's a bit how I always start when building a track. I hope this gave you a nice overview of how to start when you don't know how to start. But don't see this as a guide, because it's always good to keep the freedom, and start with the drums, start with the bass line, start with playing on your guitar, start with like making crazy noises on the synthesizer. Do what you feel. But if you're not sure yet what you feel, I always start with the chords, because they already give you a nice basis for what it's going to be like. Just start on looking on YouTube with some tutorials, because there's a lot of tutorials on FL Studio. There's a lot of people explaining the basics. You can literally look up how to get the Tame Impala vibe or sound, or how to get the Beatles sound, or how to get Kendrick Lamar sound. There's a ton of videos and tutorials on how they created their sound, and through that you can use the elements what you like of their sounds, and create your own sound. Because I think that's, if you want to become an artist, if you want to make yourself unique enough, and you want to stand out, I think that's very important to create your own sound and create your own identity, because that's what people would like to listen to. Thanks for listening. I hope you got some tips and tricks from me that are useful to you. The most important thing is just to have fun and create something you're proud of. Sometimes it's also what I always really like to do when I'm not really in the mood for something serious, or I don't have a lot of inspiration for making a serious track for myself. Just get out there, go make a track with your friends, make something stupid, because even though it sounds a bit of a waste of time if you want to be serious, to make something stupid, no, those are maybe the best learning moments, because subconsciously you you will feel free enough to experiment with things that when you're doing your normal tracks you wouldn't dare to explore, because you would think from the, oh, this will sound funny, or this will sound stupid, or this will sound goofy. But then when you try it, it might actually come out as something that's super cool to implement in your own tracks. Last year I released my beat tape during quarantine, or the start of quarantine. You can find it in Gion, that's my producer name. And hopefully this year I will surprise you guys with something new, some new work under some new name. And well, during that time you will find out. But in the meantime, enjoy making music, and yeah, that's you know, enjoy making music, live your life, create your own sound. Don't be afraid of what other people will think of it. Yeah.